taking discreet. Alright, we're live now.
Alright, here we go. Team Noxious. Gonna be starting that survivor side first. Oh my gosh, my HUD is so messed up, but it's alright. Moving forward right here, we have a 3-1 setup with a Boomer, Jockey Charger, Smoker from Impossibru. Time to move in right now. Nice! Pull charge in the back. Ooh, getting cleared just before it lands. The Jockey's gonna land as well as a 1 boom, 2 boom, and a repull. So a lot of chip damage coming in off of that opening hit. Just about 30 damage on the board.
Yeah, definitely. Spirit and Discreet both taking quite a chunk out of their health right there. And yeah, so Team Impossible is showing some good chemistry on the SI so far. They got that good charge back to the safe room, but unfortunately, as you noted, it did actually get cleared before it was able to actually pin the survivor down on the ground. And just like that, first tank of the game is up for Team Impossible in the hands of Mengu. And saying Impossibru like this over and over is going to just make me say it just like that for the next week, and I'm going to sound very racist at work.
It's absolutely Impossibru. No, but interestingly, Noxious is running 4 shotguns right now. Even though they had Susie available, pulled to the back going off right now though, and a nice, wow, 2 boom actually coming out on that. Nobody's seeing this charger right now. It's about to wreck Ellis. Gonna get a punch charge right there for a nice whole 20 damage. Tank rolling in on top of this. He's gonna go for that quick in cap. Doesn't really have any other SI up right now to help him out.
He has a lot of HP.
Yeah, he's got plenty of HP. Nice punches onto Discreet, but that's going to be cleared, and now it looks like he is lagging out.
What a time to lag. That was a very smart commit, though. And actually, looks like they're going live. You can take it back.
We're definitely so in here. Still rolling around. He is surrounded by these survivors right now, though. They'll be able, if they can avoid getting taken by this tank while he's alone, they might have a chance to take him down with not more than that 1.5 end cap happening. There's a Jockey separation. Tank down to 600 health. Hunter trying to pounce around, not really finding anything. If he can get this pounce, and he does in the front, that's huge separation. Just 1 survivor left, but it's up to the Charger to make something happen there as this tank is down to 450 HP.
He landed!
Oh my gosh.
Holy sh!
Absolutely insane solo free charge right there. And that's going to be the wipe. Team Impossibru. Wow, great capitalization on that boom, that charge right there early on in the tank.
That was absolutely beautiful. That SI support is something that I haven't seen in a very long time, and that bold of a commit as well. That was something very special right there. That made me that like jolted me back like 4 years in this game's history because that's something you don't see nowadays, where teams kind of throw the SI in with the tank's initial commit a little bit before he actually gets in, and then by the time the tank usually burns down to around 2,000 HP, the next hit is up and ready to go with them for the next commit. And that was very well executed there by Impossible. Very well played by them. And Nox, they had good survivor starting off there, but unfortunately that SI play just really took them off guard, I guess. They probably didn't think, or even they probably had nothing in their mind saying that Tank was going to commit right there, but he did. So.
Yeah, definitely so. With that 2 boom out, they probably should have backed up a little further to play it a little bit more safe. But yeah, I wouldn't have expected that tank to go for a commit right there either. You hardly ever see that here. So really nice by Impossibru. Even after coming back from a long time, they know when they see the wipe, and they know how to capitalize on it. So well done. Time to see if they can manage to get past this tank on Survivor.
Definitely. So we'll see the same hit coming out here for Team Noxious on their first hit. Jockey, Charger, Smoker, and a Boomer. No spit to obviously work with this hit, but Smoker getting a pull onto Ellis in the back. Charger going Punch City on him. And Jockey as well, looking for something, not going to find anything though. Boomer does land on 2. Proxy might land on the Coach. No, Coach is able to backpedal quick enough. But still, Solmer taking quite a hefty chunk of damage there from that hit, dropping him down to 68. And this should be an easy tank start.
Yeah, this is basically the same amount of damage off of that opening hit, by the way. The Charger going for the punches and then the close charge instead of going for the long charge like we saw Impossibru go for, and netting basically the same amount of points, even though their Jockey didn't really accomplish anything on the hit. But next hit is up and actually starting to trigger before this tank spawns. Jockey pouncing around, gonna get mowed down as he's all by himself. That he must be about to become the tank. Or something of that sort. And here comes Tank spawning up into the hands of Prince indeed. Spit semi-delay, just blocking a little bit in the back as the survivors opt to move back, and a lot more Uzis for this team. Oh my gosh, hold on. This is really a throwback right now because this team is running 4 Uzis on Team Impossibru. There's not a single shotgun in sight. They don't care that they're buffed. They don't care about close clears or skeets or anything. They don't care if they can't M2 these hunters. That's so many Uzis, so we'll have to see how this turns out. I bet Nox is not familiar with playing against this many Uzis either. We'll have to see hit coming in. Charge gonna get mowed down. Jockey going to land, and Hunter pouncing around. I imagine he'll be able to land for just a split second, and yes, he does. Meanwhile, Tank moved into the bush position. So pretty standard modern meta coming out here from Team Nox, going for the long play on this tank with the bushes.
Most certainly, and so we're going to see Team Impossibru sitting with some pretty high health bonuses right now. Tank's only taken 450 damage so far, down to 93%. That's going to drop even more now with those little chip bullets going in. And it looks like this tank wants to commit here. Charger going in actually way too early, so they're going to go ahead and toss a rock instead. Rock goes out, lands onto the Jock Survivor, does do full damage onto him, plus rage for the tank. Going to put him up to 100%, down to 4200 HP, getting pushed by the Uzi of Rochelle though. And as you noted, the 4 Uzis is not something that we see much of. And that's another thing that Impossibru, that back during EQ1, I think that was still a possibility for Uzis back then. So to actually see them pick it up and run it, I mean, they must be feeling right at home with this config, because what they did with their tank and now with the 4 Uzi lineup, it's throwing me back. Yeah. I feel that nostalgia.
I don't know if they could use 4 Uzis back then, but I know a lot of the European teams felt like they would have used 4 Uzis if they could have. They'd just run 1 shotgun because they had to a lot of the time. But we'll have to see. Definitely, they're already used to no tank slowdown, but next hit might be coming in here. Survivor's pushed really far forward. Kind of interesting. Pound's gonna land, get cleared pretty quickly, and Jockey gonna just line up another cap on top of that, just for little bits of tick damage. But this tank can't find a rock off of that with this positioning, not without risking a lot of chip.
Yeah, and this is throwing me back. The survivors are actually pushing forward now, being very aggressive. That one person bleeding was enough to make them hate that position and want to move forward. And I mean, there's plenty of good places up ahead. Boomer does go out onto L, so it's going to cause a little bit of horde to trickle in here, though. Prince down to 30% rage, reestablishes that line of sight, though. So he's going to be able to keep it up there for a second. It's getting a little bit broken now by the cars. But this Hunter and Smoker are going to hold. Smoker actually look for a despawn. And they move forward onto the Humvee. The nostalgia is so great right now. I'm like smiling.
Yeah, this is really interesting. We've seen a lot of teams get wrecked by trying to push forward during this tank, even if it's got, as low as 2k HP. It's great places to get rocks to land, and SI have, even a few more spawns. But I guess sitting on that Humvee, they aren't getting great LOS, but it's at least a safer spot to fight the tank than some other choices they could have made right now. We'll have to see.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, SI looking like they don't want to commit an attack. It looks like the tank is just going to bleed it, play it really slow. Kind of an interesting standoff we've got right now.
Definitely, and it honestly just seems like they're the whole point of them doing this. It seems like they just want to make the SI throw the attacks in and then push forward with the tank in tow. Like they're trying to just make the tank play to their pace, and they're trying to open themselves up to those attacks. It really doesn't seem like they're really all that much caring about the LOS, obviously. They want the SI, if anything, to throw in the hits so that they can push forward. That's a different way of thinking about it.
Yeah, definitely. This is really interesting. So the tank's getting chipped super slowly in order to keep his LOS here, and Solmir is ticking down on his HP super slowly as well, just because he is in bleed already. But yeah, I don't know. This is honestly pretty like high level spot for both teams, meaning like you have to do a lot of thinking about what you want to be working on, what you want to happen in this standoff right here. But Survivor's at least baiting the push a little bit, maybe forcing the tank to rotate right now, and he is in a worse spot for LOS. Here comes the hit right now. Is he gonna get that rock? No, the pole gets cleared too quickly, and now this Hunter up all alone, actually getting skeeted by Manga.
That was another incredibly smart little micro play there by Impossibru. What they did was they juked the tank forward. They made him think that they were actually going to move forward, so that he moved closer. And now look at his health. He took 500 damage just from that little amount of chip they threw at him, because the range was that much lessened from them moving forward. or the tank moving forward, I should say. And now they have the spot on top of the bridge, which is like the god spot on this map. I wouldn't expect them to push forward any more here, but Prince is also down to second pass. This has been incredibly well played by Impossibru, and they're going to keep moving forward here. Tank actually now up on the van here, throwing a curve rock, does manage to miss Coach, and he's just going to get mowed down by these Uzis.
So here goes the boom. Gonna miss. Nice 2-cap happening though, but this tank down to 280 HP. Gonna be looking for pretty much just as much damage, but they get that great rock. What an incredible rock. Landing onto Brian right there. Nice job by Prince. But this should be all they wrote for the. Oh my gosh! Barely missing that punch right there onto Rochelle. God, I hate that when you land on her head. Get nothing, but Impossibru making it through the tank still with 447 bonus, and it looks like they're going to be pushing it through this map.
Yeah, definitely. That was a hell of a rock though by Prince. That one onto Rochelle, that was very well timed and beautifully arced. And yeah, so we'll see Impossibru once again moving the way up to Alarm Cry. Another hit looking like it's going to gear up. Smoker Charger on the top floor, Spitter down below with the Force Spawn being a boomer somewhere down below, I'd assume. Spit throws it on the ground though. Try to get some damage on the Rochelle, I'm guessing. But yeah, they're just going to have to hold out here for a second. For some reason, Brian actually triggers the alarm car, which actually gets botched up there by Alice, and she gets a second hit on him. That's going to be Solomon taking his first in-cap of the game here. And that's also going to be damage bonus taking a big hit because he had no salve left to his name. And yeah, it's damage bonus down to 9.
I was about to say something about how like the Uzis shut down that hit so well, and then this happens. Of course, they run into a witch with those Uzis and get a free in-cap onto Solmir. Along with that alarm car happening, which is not exactly a lot of fun when you've got Uzis without so many melee weapons. Next hit coming in now. Smoker looking for the pull. Gonna find it right now. Charger gonna get the charge onto Menga as a follow-up, and a Pounce landing as well. Prince still trying to find a spawn for his Spitter though. But just more and more chip coming off of this. Nox is definitely going to want to try to maximize or minimize the health bonus that Impossibru can get on this map though.
I'm like blown away right now. They're still running 4 Uzis post tank. Like, I understand, like, if you actually do focus fire with the Uzis, they are far and superior to shotguns. But it requires, once again, that extra little tidbit of, you know, chemistry where you have to, you know what to focus. Someone has to be calling, shoot this, shoot that. And you can mow down charges faster than you could with 4 shotguns. You can mow down anything, but it's just a matter of you guys focusing everything down, and they've done an amazing job thus far. It looks like they're going to make safe from at this rate, too. Another hit going in. Boomer getting pop. Charger does land, though, onto Coach, bringing him into the spit. Mosquito will take a bit of damage from that, putting him down into the yellow range, which is going to make him start limping his way to the safe room. But that will more than likely be the last hit we see coming out here from Noxious. Where is the 4th survivor, actually? Am I missing something? Oh, no, he was by the safe room.
I'm seeing them all. But yeah, looks like they're going to make it in. Nice pull at the last second happening. Gonna get cleared, and they probably don't have any other follow-up on that. Yeah, Boomer rocket in just a little bit too late. So gonna make it in with, what was that, like 200? No, 180 bonus right now. But that's going to give them a fairly sizable lead, especially considering this is the away game for Team Impossibru right now.
Indeed. From what we know, there will be a second game played here immediately following this one. And then also, obviously, we have the last game of the round 1, which will be Team Element of Surprise, a.k.a. Checkmate, versus Clitori, I think you said it was?
Clitorati.
Clitorati.
You just want to make me say it over and over again, don't you? I like to pronounce this really loud. My neighbors are going to think I'm crazy.
What was the first one I said? It wasn't Clitorati. I said something else.
I don't know. Clitorius, I think you called him.
I was so close to saying the actual thing. But yeah. So heading into the second map here, obviously we'll be seeing Team Impossibru making the save from having the early lead here on Team Noxious. But Team Noxious has been holding their own so far. But I want to see more of this 4 Uzi play. Like it has me overjoyed right now.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. Honestly, I feel like even though they took like that really bad wipe on map 1, they may have just been underestimating their opponents a little bit or something like that. They definitely got caught off guard there, is what I would say. By the SI, by the tank, by everything on that early tank fight. And they can definitely bring it back together, get their heads in the game, and just focus a little more on being aware of like funny things happening, because obviously this team running those 4 Uzis. Actually, are they going to? I see a shotgun on Mosquito. But yeah, it's a little bit harder to predict when you're not familiar as much with the type of play your opponent's showing.
Yeah, it's something else because you once again you're so used to people running shotguns time and time again that when you actually have a team that knows how to focus fire with the Uzis and whatnot, there's not really a time of throw this in first, throw this in next. Yeah, it's literally just becomes a dog pile fest. But with that being said, a round does go live. Jockey dropping down, nice double boom landing. Smoker taking one survivor as well, and Charger doing a barrel roll in midair. And that will be attack up and over with, but not before Brian and Silver both eat a little bit of damage from that, dropping down to 8 and 7 HP respectively. So we'll see them move their way past this first hit, past the first set of kiosks, and yeah, which will be up to 26.
They're sitting on 3 shotguns right now, so maybe they just didn't run into any shotgun spawns last map after the tank, and maybe they were just doing quad easy for the tank, but then didn't run into shotguns, which is kind of possible if you're just skipping all those spawns to move fast. But yeah, definitely different weapon loadout this time, which, yeah, as you said, going to be up at 26%, which is about 5% from now. But next SI hit, getting ready. Hunter looking for these ceiling pounces. I imagine if he gets them, they'll try to trigger the hit at about the same time.
Yeah, he's still looking for it. He's not finding it just yet, though. Hunter in the hands of Discreet, a.k.a. Average Joe. Boomer spawning up on top of the hot dog stand. Will land a single boom out onto Nick. This is definitely going to trigger the attack. Jockey, Hunter, Charger working the way in. One SI does land, that being the Charger. Everything else, though, getting obliterated out of the air by Team Impossibru. And, yeah, Mengu's still taking a bit of damage, though, from that charge.
That was a really cool-looking skeet from Brian, by the way. He was jumping midair, and here goes the draw crown. Gonna land it as well. And yeah, Survivor's making it through with very little momentum damage thus far. The tank on this map is actually going to be at 80% as well, which I believe is after the start of the event, so we might actually see the team decide to wait out the event right here. There goes the pullback, actually going to land. Hunter coming in from front, manages to land as well onto one of those Uzi players, and spit damage landing on top of that for just a bit more ticks. Meanwhile, Leon trying to find something to do with his boomer. Not going to happen. Probably going to be setting up for the next choke point.
Definitely. And I wonder, is this tank at the bottom of the slide, or is it after the drop? I assume at the bottom of the slide.
Really, 80% seems really late to me. I feel like that might be the drop, like after the Pilgrim, to be honest.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll find out for sure. Double boom happening right now. Charge gonna get a punch. Pull landing. Jock landing. That jockey's actually gonna get some damage right there, as he almost gets Ellis around the corner. But that's the first hit that's doing fairly sizable damage right now for Team Nox, but a pretty solid one at that.
Indeed, yeah, as you mentioned, there's a pretty nice spread of damage across the 4 survivors right now, given out by Team Noxious, and maybe a little bit of FF. But yeah, Impossibru, they gotta buckle down a little bit here, because they still have this tank to deal with, and it could either become a really long tank if it's after the drop, or it could be an instant commit. But regardless, they have to try and buckle down here. Spitter actually throwing itself in there, sacking itself? Maybe they're getting ready for the Witch, or the tank, I mean, they're at 65% of the way through the map. So this might be after drop, you might be correct.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe they're also just thinking we should go for separation right now. I don't know. Hunter apparently pre-spawn is trying to run away right now. Kind of interesting. But it looks like they are getting set up. Yeah, they're at 77%, so maybe you're right. It's not going to be after this drop. But they are going to have some SI ready, and they got another spitter, so if they were sacking that for Boomer, all was for naught.
Indeed, it looks like all the SI are going to move the way in right now. Hunter making his way for a DP, misses. Charger does land, but instantaneously cleared there by the Uzis and shotguns. Spit goes down on top of nothing, but the Survivors actually run through the Spit there. And then Charger also connected there for a brief instance.
Well, yeah, those some nice caps, but even nicer quick clears from Team Impossibru right there, keeping that Charger from really getting any points. Oh, and the tank spawned inside
oh my God.
the fence right there. What? Survivor's going to push forward. So many Uzis. Once again, Brian leading the pack. That's 1,500, 1,700, 2,000 damage, 2,200 damage on this tank right now, and he's going to turn around and come right in while there's still a little bit of horde trickling in. Boomer managing to get through this tank down to 1,500 health, but he's going to get a corner. There's a charge. There's a jockey separation. If
that's
the
it.
Survivor, if Nick, he's too hoarded. Tank not able to find the punch, but will he get the clear? He does not. The jockey has 10 HP remaining.
He can't get it!
Oh my gosh, he's just getting punched around.
Oh my God.
Finishing it off. Wow. talk about, there's your reverse capitalization right there. The survivors thought they were being cheeky, going for that push, but Leon's tank just said, no, you don't get to do that to me. I'm not going to stand for it. And turned around and just, what a beautiful tri-boom. Great corners by the tank. Great SI capitalization as well. Great job by Team Noxious there.
That was beautiful. That I have to give props to Team Impossibru though. That was some major aggression, and they did their homework. They knew exactly where that was going to spawn. And Coach wasted no time dropping off the edge of that upper part, and he immediately just pushed his way towards the tank and got that chip. But as you mentioned, Leon saying, "Oh no, you don't," immediately turning it back on the survivors, getting the wipe. And now we're gonna see Team Noxious over on the survivor side. Boomer getting popped. Charger working his way in, doesn't find anything. Smoker did land for a second, but that's very nicely cleared there by Team Noxious. I have a feeling a lot of that damage might be from FF. I mean, there is what 11 damage on the SI. No, it might even out actually.
I don't know. It must have been like jockey scratches and. I don't know. This is some odd amounts of damage to get in. Charger definitely got shut down though, which is very nice for Team Noxious. And they're moving pretty fast right now. There's only one spawn up and ready for Team Impossibru, getting the rest of them right now. So we'll probably see Noxious hold up and bait out this next choke point a little bit.
Definitely, and then obviously they know that they can do just that. Boomer does drop it in, gets a proxy onto Ellis here. Charger, Hunter, Jockey gonna work their ways in. Hunter immediately obliterated out there. Jockey does land. Charger taking Ellis up against the hot dog stand, asking him if he would like a meat burger, and he says yes. And that Jockey does eventually get cleared off there by Nick. Rochelle delivering the finishing blow to it, and that will be the survivors making the way past the choke. But that was a pretty nasty hit on them. That was easily another 70 damage or so.
Yeah, that was incredibly solid right there. They got the Hunter skeet, but with that horde coming in, the other two clears just took a huge amount of time to make happen. So survivors actually getting the witch for free right there by Discreet. Boomer, nice spawn in the front. Smoker gonna get cleared though, and now it's down to pretty much just the Hunter, which Team Noxious is on it with these skeets right now. These Hunters look like they're coming in at good angles, good timings, but not getting anything.
Yeah, I mean, that was well taken there by Noxious, though. A nice counter to the attack that they took back in the alleyway by the shutter, or the famous meat burger stand, if you will. And yeah, so they took that one very nicely, kind of equalized the two hits out. And yeah, they'll make their way towards the alleyway and the ladder up ahead. I assume the SI will throw a hit here in the alley. It seems like that's the kind of meta that a lot of teams are going with now, and it does seem like they're going to do just that, actually.
Yeah, it only could be good. Normally you want like a spit on this, but boom plus some separation can do pretty well, and they do have separating cappers. There's the pull to the back. Excellently done. Charger looking for the intercept, gets a double charge instead, and in the front, Boomer just getting some scratches. So, fairly nice hit, but didn't turn into any long-standing caps.
Indeed.
It didn't convert. It didn't convert, kiss me. That's what I'm going to say about that now.
It did not convert. No 2-point conversion here. And yeah, so they'll go ahead and find some sets of pills. They're going to pop one on top of Spirit, make him take one of the sets of pills as well. And they're going to make their way to the top of the slides, getting ready for the ride down. They've been waiting in line for the past 2 hours, and they want to go for a ride. Jockey going to pounce his way out of there, though, beating them down the slides. Jockey spawning up, though, and he has no way out. This is going to be a force command. Jockey, at least, does not manage to land just yet on the Leon. Leon actually kills him off with the katana. And that will be the one SI over and done with. Hunter as well actually ended up getting picked there. I wasn't there. I'll keep my eyes on that one.
No, I was watching the fancy footwork from Leon as he went like under the jockey and pulled out his katana to get the kill, which is pretty fun to watch. But it looks like Impossibru are going to be holding on to these spawns. They probably are thinking, let's not let the survivors push our tank right now. Spit going to go for just a delay / sack right there. It looks like they want the Boomer, because yeah, if they land a boom as well, they could be going for an insta commit on this tank.
Indeed. And I wonder if we're going to see that same aggression as you mentioned that we saw on the last half. But Charger comes in, landing a nice double charge, I believe it was, in the back hallway there. Jockey, Smoker both landing, and this allows the tank time to actually wrap around, get out of the harm's way of that push commit. And that's actually a Boomer landing a 1, 2, 3, 4 boom. Very nicely done.
Yeah, definitely nice, but it looks like Team Noxious going to play it a little bit safer. They didn't have to take the drop to spawn this tank. And so they're going to go back and fight in a normal area. However, that quad boom is still trickling in, and this might be another insta-commit from Impossibru. I don't know. He's definitely thinking about it, though. Yeah, here it comes in right now. There's still horde coming in, but it's all coming from the front. Survivors backpedaling hard. Whoa, that double charge gonna knock Spirit across the map. Caps landing sporadically right now, getting cleared pretty quickly, however, and Nick gonna get punched just to get some separation right there. As long as they kill this tank, though, they can have pretty high bonus by the end of this map. Tank with 1,000 health left, pushing the survivor in the corner. Nice jukes by Spirit, but he does finally get punched. And is that tank gonna get a rock? Nope. That's the end of it.
Indeed it is, but not before a lot of damage goes on Noxious. Nice proxy boom there, going out onto Nick. Boomer throwing himself onto Nick's lap, and Nick willingly popping him. And yeah, so that's going to be 2 survivors completely bleeding out for Noxious, that being Spirit and Discreet. And then Leon and Prince, the only 2 survivors seeing any health bonus left. And yeah, actually, interesting note, their damage bonus has not been touched as of just yet. But now, if I were the SI, I would probably throw myself onto Ellis and Coach, because they're the ones with the temporary bonus, obviously. And that's at 100% right now.
Yeah, definitely. Theoretically, it's worth the same for any of the damages, but wow, nice multiple caps going in right there onto Rochelle, getting a fair amount of damage onto her, taking down the bonus by about 50 points on that hit. They're still sitting at 341 as they push through the map. And we'll probably only see one more hit before they make it to the safe room here, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and if they make it with this health bonus, they will bring it very close. I think it'll be like around a 70-point game if they make it in here with this health bonus. Smoker pull on also kind of tongue though is himself, and there goes the Hunter on to Nick, pinning him on top of the fence. Nick getting pulled off. He is one of the players with a solid bonus left, so that's going to be ticking down. And I'm assuming that their health bonus is around 0 right now, and the damage bonus is probably still up there though.
They're very low on health bonus at 3%, 84% damage bonus though, so nobody's gotten hit much after getting in-capped, basically. And survivors make it in with that bonus of 232. Gonna put them at only 801 points, so Impossibru is still in the lead at 962.
Indeed, but definitely closing the gap is Team Noxious, and now we'll move on to the third map here. Once again, around a 160-point differential. And it's been actually a pretty close game, and I'm actually very impressed that Team Noxious is keeping up with Team Impossibru, because obviously, once again, they're the past Equilibrium #1 champions. So it's you know, it kind of works 2 ways. Either Impossibru has lost their touch a bit, or just the teams of today are that much better, and they're able to compete with the players from the past. But then at the same time, you have to account for how much time they've been out of the scene and game and whatnot. So they're pretty rusty probably as well.
Yeah, I should honestly, you might have to come up with some sort of a formula, write your master's thesis on that one, Kiss Me, because it's starting to sound pretty complex how to decide what exactly is going on in this matchup. But we just get to see the results of it, see which team beats which team right here going into the map 3 of Noxious versus Impossibru. And we saw this trend yesterday, didn't we? This sort of odd, like, away game, the away team ending up winning after the first 2 maps, and then it switches around, and then suddenly the home team seems to pick it up on Coaster and Barnes and the finale, favoring the home team a little bit more. I wonder if there's a reason for that.
I'm not completely sure. I noticed that too in the past couple of days of matches. As you mentioned, it seems like the first couple maps, usually the away team, comes rearing ready to go, and then all of a sudden it switches around maps 3, 4, and 5, and the home team, has their turn of actually playing well on their home server for once.
Reloading.
But
maybe it's just close quarters versus open areas. Like if you're in open area, high ping might be better, but nice charge going in off of that pole, getting 22 damage. Once again with that combo and a double boom landing on top of that as well.
indeed.
So right off the bat, a nice quick hit from Team Noxious, and they have a jockey still being held right now.
Indeed they do. I'm not too sure why they might be holding that, but anyway, tank is up now. Very early tank, as mentioned earlier. And it's going to be played by Spirit of Team Noxious. And this is a pretty big tank here, because if they end up wiping here and then they can actually manage to beat this tank on their side, that's a lot of distance points, and they could easily overtake Team Impossibru on this round.
Alright. Dude, this is where I start to question like the old
change?
team strategy. They're on the worst Uzis right now, and they're going to be taking it in safe room. Honestly, at safe room ranges, the shotgun is probably going to do more DPS. So I wonder. I mean, they could switch up to shotguns as they go back in that safe room, but this is looking a little bit sketchy. Nice avoiding the boom right there. Going to be waiting for one last spawn before Team Noxious commits this tank. But I don't know, Kiss Me. How do you feel about this strat?
I think it's actually pretty smart in my opinion, because also you have to remember in the newest version of Ace Mod, version 3, the Uzi reload times are actually like 0.2 of a second lower, which in the grand scheme of things does actually accumulate to more damage. It's like oh god, like 0.15 more damage, like yeah. I don't know, 15% more damage probably in the course of 2 clips. Anyway, they're pushing the tank back into safe. 2100 HP left on him. He's down to the 1K mark. Does land a double corner over in the corner, obviously. And he's actually going to get broken up there by that jockey, though. That was really close to a wipe there.
Ooh, yeah, maybe so. The survivors all switched to the shotguns as they came in the safe room now and started M2ing, shutting down some of the SI right there. So Tank getting about a 1.75 in caps on the survivors, maybe even 2 worth in total in terms of punches, but the survivors make it through that, making it look like it was not too much harder than a regular pro-mod tank in that area.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised the tank didn't die before he hit the back wall. I think it's because they started shooting at the SI instead of the tank because they figured he was low. But regardless, no attack coming in, smoking, he shot down immediately. Charger taking one survivor back up against the wall. Actually, no, I think he missed, so I redact that statement. But, yeah, then the jockey and Spitter are doing a little bit of work together, and they're managing to break down the health bonus little by little here of Team Impossibru. But, yeah, we'll have to see what Team Noxious do with that tank, because, once again, that could be a very rough tank, and that tank in the hands of, who was that again? Spirit?
For Team Noxious, it was definitely Spirit, yeah.
Oh, okay. But, yeah, he was really close to actually finishing them off there. 2 of the cappers managed to land, that being the Hunter and Charger. Charger actually got a double charge over in the corner. But the jockey, unfortunately, got shut down by Nick, and he was able to then clear the Hunter off, and then Coach kind of like hopped his way out of the corner. So that was really close to actually being the end of it. But if that jockey landed, it would have, you know, sealed the deal. Anyway, Boomer spawning from the background. The Team Impossible were, though, too smart to open that door and go back for that. So they'll just keep moving the way through the map here.
Yeah, definitely so. And we still have some big choke points coming up, so Noxious is going to be doing their best to make the wipe happen right here. Oh, boom. Single boom going in the back. Charge going to capitalize on it. Going to take that quick damage. Might not be a bad decision to just keep hitting quick, as these survivors aren't going to move super fast. But I don't know, going in 1 or 2 at a time with these SI is a little strange.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. I mean, if they had a spitter, I could have seen them going in with that, throwing the spit down the survivor and then like pulling the survivor backwards and causing the separation. But, I mean, to each their own, though. They might have had something else in their heads, who knows. But Impossible will continue the way through the tunnel love here, though. Next stack coming in. Jockey, Hunter working their way in. Smoker in the back, not managing to find target just yet. Nice double cap landing. Triple cap, in fact, with Coach getting pulled in the background. And that's going to be a lot of damage going out to the damage bonus of Team Impossible. That's going to drop them down probably around another 150 or so from their previous health bonus. And
yeah, that was a really good spit with stumbles and spit and caps all over the place. And Impossibru now moving up, though, we'll probably see the SI save/sack in order to get what they want to have set up for the coaster hit. It looks like we've got Hunter, Jockey, Boomer, Charger, so that's pretty close to what you want. No Smoker, though, so we might see some early sacks right here. We'll have to see how the survivors decide to take this. I know a lot of teams, especially if there's a late tank, would sit here baiting out a hit first by just killing commons, but I think Impossibru are gonna move up right now. They've got Meng and Mosquito in the front, or sorry, Mosquito and Brian in the front right now. Slowly pushing this hill. Interesting positioning right now.
yeah, this is actually...
But they haven't caught any of the SI yet.
Hunter goes and gets skeeted out there, though. And yeah, as you mentioned, that's very interesting positioning by Team Impossible. Mangu does get Jockey at the top of the coaster. That's going to be for sure in cap. Rochelle getting ledge hung at the top of the coaster. Mangu getting in cap at the bottom. Rochelle, I don't even know what just happened to Rochelle. She just got back up, though. I'm so confused.
Yeah, that was some hacks positioning by Mosquito right there, keeping from getting double charged basically. Oh, Ellis actually going to take like 30 fall damage thanks to that jockey spawn right there. So Impossibru down but not out right now. They've got Only 56 bonus left, and two of their players super slow, but they're going to keep ticking up this distance until Nox can find a way to make this wipe happen. And Witch, as I said, that Witch at the top of the next coaster, this could be the opportunity they were looking for. They have a Hunter spawned up on the Witch, Jockey going there as well. And very tense, there comes the draw crown, gonna land. Nicely done by Brian right now, and Hunter, Jockey both getting skeeted. Spit gonna separate and delay Nick in the back, but the rest of the survivors pretty much free to move at this point.
Indeed. So I have a feeling we're going to see some in-cap start happening here. I mean, there's one pill down towards the ammo pile, so they're going to be able to pick that up and probably pass it over to Mosquito. But Brian is on the brink of taking an in-cap here, so I'm assuming this is where they're going to get a little bit more slowed down here. And with this cross coming up here, the infamous cross that nobody can ever seem to get across, they're going to have a very interesting time with this hit, I think, because if Brian gets in-capped down on the ground, they're going to be forced to pretty much back around. But with that being said as well, this Horde does eventually end, and they probably have another minute or so of Horde left until it actually does finish off here.
Yeah, definitely so. So they could wait and bait it out. They do have 3 players bleeding right now, though. Smoker gonna miss that. Pounce does land, and the survivors, maybe they'll bait him out, but it looks like Charger is gonna get the reset right now onto Mosquito. Gonna get cleared before the in-cap comes in, though, but he's gonna have a lot of trouble solo clearing these commons with that high ping.
Indeed, and so that will be Rochelle down to 1 HP on the ground all alone, so that's definitely going to be an in-cap going on to her. Brian still down around the 9 HP range, so he's next up for that in-cap. And it looks like they might leave Rochelle? Yeah, they're leaving her. She's left for dead.
They could be leaving her, they could also be going to get max distance and then coming back maybe, because their bonus is going to drop pretty significantly if Rochelle dies. Then again, Rochelle just got a solo clear onto a Jockey out there. Coach gonna get pulled right outside this apron. Survivors are opting to go back and save him. But Brian is holding what is left of the health bonus right now, and of course everyone else staying alive helps keep that save bonus high as well.
You called it, actually. They're going back. So they're not leaving her for dead. But the thing is, she still has only 1 HP left, and it looks like they're about to give up the spawn on the top of the sign. So Rochelle could take a very easy in-cap here. In fact, that's what... Oh, no! She levels the Charger!
In fact, that's what she does. No way. Absolutely great level right there. She's going to get in-cap, but that means they can pick her up and have her at 30 health once again. This Hunter probably going to be looking for some scratches right now. He doesn't zero awareness coach, but he does get the in-cap. And there goes the Hunter being taken down. Spawn's coming up once again. They basically, like, their only choices at this point as the infected are to finish off Brian's health bonus or kill off Rochelle. Because Rochelle is the one who still has some distance points to get. So they're fighting for like 5, 10, 15 points right now. But they are going to keep fighting for it. Jockey gets an in-cap right there onto Menga.
It's also for pride. I mean, you can't let the team make the save room. You gotta stop them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Screw the scores. You gotta stop them.
Oh, spit delay being employed right now. Brian gonna get in-capped in the safe room. That is the last of their health bonus right now. And this Charger gonna see if he can get some punches in to seal the deal. Coach not detecting that occurring, and the charge lands onto Mosquito.
Oh!
Gets the kill. Now it's down to Menga against this Jockey. Can he do it? Is Spirit's Jockey Fu higher than Nick's M2 Fu? And yes, it is. Menga getting taken down by the Jockey. Well played by Team Noxious.
Indeed, so that will be the white finally going out onto Team Impossibru. Very well played there by Team Noxious, and of course Impossibru to make it that far. Very early tank, and as we've seen in past tournaments, past games, if you have a tank that early on, you can be in dire straits straight from the get-go, because it can really add up. If you get 3 people bleeding after this tank and you got to all pop your pills, once again, it takes its toll on you very quickly, because there's not many sets of pills in this actual map until you make it to pretty much that safe pill, or the pill room, if you will, right outside of the actual maintenance like building.
Yeah, definitely so. I noticed they stopped them at 599 points of distance on this map, by the way, so did not get that last point. And boom, early going in right there. Looks like Smoke's gonna miss along with that Charger, and Jockey trying to find something. He's gonna get some tick damage, so they got about 9 damage out onto these survivors on this super early hit.
Indeed it is, and with that being said, tank is now up. and it's going to be in the hands of Brian for Team Impossibru. And yeah, this is once again we're going to have to see what they decide to do here with this tank, because it looks like they are going to also play a safe room. And I'm under the strong assumption that if they were to grab 3 Uzis, or possibly even 4, and just rail into the tank when he committed, that it would kill him before he got close up to them. But they're actually going to commit right now with the boom that's been triggered onto Coach. They're making their way back on the side of the safe room. All 3 of them. No, actually, Coach gets stuck up on the safe room door, and that's going to be an easy in-cap onto him. Actually, he makes his way back in. Tank gets a double punch onto Coach and Ellis, and now he's stuck outside the safe room down to 2200 HP. Charger does get absolutely mowed down to 400 HP. Dies, but he does get that final in-cap out onto Coach up against the back wall. But that was really tight.
Ooh, well, the interesting thing is, I don't know if Coach got stuck on the safe room door, or if he chose to do that, because that's often a strat employed, is to sort of get yourself stuck on the safe room door so Tank can't go past. And, you know, he doesn't have any chance to get multis. The SI can't get past it either. All you have to do is shoot at that safe room door, and pretty much everything coming in dies. And we saw that they managed to get the jockey to land, but that Charger got mowed down as soon as he tried to go in as well. So Survivors, next hit coming in right now, though. Hunter going for just scratches. A little bit of chip damage coming in, but overall, Team Noxious came out of that with higher health than Team Impossibru did in their fight against Tank.
Oh, without a doubt. And yeah, so we'll see Spirit sitting around 50 HP right now. Actually, he's at 50 exactly. Discreet complete bleed out, so that's going to be the damage bonus starting to tick down slowly but surely every time he takes a bit of damage. And then Leon and Prince sitting really high up in the greens right now. So they're in good shape. They'll probably be the ones that are looked to be protected. I'm assuming Discreet's probably going to let that damage bonus go bit by bit. He might even be the bait for all we know. But we'll see how they decide to play it. There's a lot of different ways you can go about as to who's lead and who's last. But anyway, Boomer going in does land a single double boom maybe? In fact, this is a double boom, or Alice and Rochelle both eating it. And the other 3 SI are going to be a Charger Spitter and a Smoker. And it looks like they might hit inside the room still. They're not backing up.
Yeah, definitely so. You're in danger of getting baited and getting shut down pretty hard here. But with that boom going out, they are going to have another spawn up very soon. The Survivors not pushing fast enough to prevent that from happening. Hunter has now pre-spawned in the front. Looks like they're going to go in. Got some separation. They can try to hit right here, but Hunter going to get shut down. Charger going to land, and Spit goes down on top of Spirit in that corner.
Indeed, it's going to drop him down into the red. He's going to pop his first set of pills here. He is not damage bonus as of just yet. He still has that sliver of solid left, so that has to disappear first before he starts taking damage or bringing down the damage bonus with him. But so, as it stands right now, we have 2 red survivors, 2 greens, and we'll see how well they can make the coaster, or make it to the coaster. Because if they make it like this, they're going to find some more sets of pills along the way, and then even one at the ammo pile at the drop on the coaster. So we'll see what they can make happen. Another hit coming in there, though. Jockey, Hunter working their way in. Smoker from the back. Tongue does get cut, though. Jockey latches onto Ellis. Smoker brings Nick towards the back. Going to be a little bit more damage onto the permanent health bonus of him. And that'll be the tech up and over with. But that's still another good 40 damage at least worth of HP done on the Survivors.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of HP done, I think, over those last 2 hits. They're sitting at about 571 right now, which is still pretty high. They have a lot of damage bonus, but I think a lot's going to come down to how they take this next choke point. If they take this next choke point well, they'll be in enough health to sort of take it slow and safe during the rest of the event. 2 boom coming out right now, though. Looks like there's going to be a Hunter sack as well. Going for the separation onto Spirit, just going for those close range pounces, which are incredibly hard to deal with for the Survivor team.
Indeed it is. Sorry, I'm just reading my Twitch chat. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. You guys scared me.
Yeah, apparently everyone hates Brian, which I believe there's been multiple movies about this, such as The Life of Brian. But wait, no, that was kind of the opposite. Anyway, we have Charger, Jockey, Spitter, Smoker up for the SI right now. Spit gonna be pre-employed at the top of the coaster. It has a pretty nice spread down that ramp, but the rest of the SI all spawned up in front, sort of giving away their hand. Showing their hand pretty heavily right now. Nice pull is going to land. Charger going to go in. They do get the clear, though, halfway down. So there's no charge up for Team Impossibru. Nice job by Team Nox. And the rest of these SI just trying to run away as the Survivors push down the coaster.
And actually, this is a big health bonus right now for Team Noxious. It's currently setting at a 515. If they were to walk away in the safe room right now, they would take the lead by around 300 points. Albeit, obviously, there's still a second game to be played and 2 more maps of this current game, which is taken care of easily there with the SI down. And yeah, this is going to be very interesting, actually. I mean, they still have arguably the hardest part, or second hardest part of the coast, I would say, with it being this cross coming up ahead. And they're going to meet one more attack before they make it up there.
Yeah, looks like it. Hunter going in, trying to find the paths. Gonna get skeeted by Spirit, I believe, in the back. Boom is gonna land on one, and Spit actually behind the survivors. So
they're gonna.
I think Noxious might be able to rush.
Yeah.
The reset choke.
Yeah, I don't think that there's gonna be anyone up in time. I mean, the closest is Silmer, and he's down to 4 seconds right now. But by the time he gets up and then also has to get a spawn, yeah, they're gone. They're across the reset.
That poor Spitter, unable to get the spit block whatsoever, and these survivors booking it like they've got a train to catch. Charge gonna get leveled right there by the shotguns, I suppose, of the survivor team. Jockey gonna be coming in as the last SI right here, and survivors still holding on to a 455 bonus on Dark Carnival Coaster. Well played by Team Noxious.
Definitely, that's a massive health bonus for this map. It may not seem like much looking over at their health bars, but that's definitely respectable. They held on that damage bonus very well, and once again, they reap the benefits. So they're going to be up around 300 points on Team Impossibru going into the 4th map, and yeah, that's the turnaround they needed, because if it's going to be this close going into the away game for them, then they better start pulling away a little bit surely here, because they don't want to be behind going into the 2nd game.
And man, it's exactly the trend we sort of predicted. As map 3 rolls around and suddenly the home team seems to have a bit more of an advantage. Managing to take, not a huge lead, but a pretty sizable jump considering they were behind by, how much were they behind by before? Maybe like 100 points?
At the beginning of map 3, or?
Yeah, at the beginning of map 3. What was the difference? I've already forgotten.
I think it was around 300.
Well then, yeah, this is that's a nice jump to have if you're on Team Noxious right now. So, great work by them.
Yeah, I think it was like 250 or something.
No, I'm seeing a 15% tank right now, which I believe is like super duper early. If SI hold, they can sort of keep the survivors from pushing forward to the bumper car area they normally like to face it. We'll have to see what exactly happens, though. It looks like SI are setting up to go for an early hit. Boomer looking to see what he can find. He might be the one to open this hit if he can find something. And there it is. Boom. Gonna get popped though. Charger gonna jump in. Gonna miss his charge though. Just getting a little bit of a stumble. And Jockey gonna be the main damage on this hit with 13.
Indeed. So nice attempt a nice attempted initiation there by the Boomer. I got it, guys. Don't worry about it. But he does eventually get popped. Not really much that he can do on the ground level with the survivors. Very well-known boom spot as well. But we'll see a tank up in hands of Mosquito now for Team Impossibru, and we'll see what he's got in the bag for us.
It'd be bad right now is if their player Mosquito got swatted. You get it? Like some. You know,
I would like to thank you guys for joining in tonight.
Alright, fine, I'll leave.
What?
But no, he's actually got some really good. He might be the one doing the swatting. He's got some good hittables right on this roof. He can sort of place them wherever he wants. Got the nice one close. Actually, he's just stacking them all up in the same place. Almost looks like this tank is just playing with blocks right now. He does lose that one though. Outside of the map, and there's this one boom that is slowly moving in. This tank might be looking for a commit right now. Honestly, if I was him, I would. Gonna miss that first punch onto Prince. Survivors still in pretty good motion. Looks like he's got a corner though. Onto Rochelle. He doesn't get one punch. Rochelle managing to move around a little bit, but it's just punch after punch right now. Looking to get the Jockey. Tank gonna get the end cap onto Leon. There's still 3 SI at full health right now. Tongue gonna get cut super quickly right there, but the Rocks going in, 3 survivors left. Tank backing off with only 900 health. And there comes some SI. Charger gonna whiff right there. Smoker does land for a little bit, but wow, that tank looked like it was getting a great commit, but the SI just couldn't add on to the damage that was happening in any way. Now we have dumpsters being hit as like a final hurrah by Mosquito's tank, but Noxious taking out the tank, which looked like a pretty solid commit, only coming out with 1 in cap overall. Wow, really interesting play right there.
Indeed. So we'll see the tank once again being slayed there by Team Noxious. Not too bad at all. They only took 1 in cap, which is once again pretty damn good for the amount of hittables that the tank had to work with. And Rochelle did very well juking the tank in the initial hits there. But anyway, Charger going in, lands onto Spirit to start things off here. Boomer also landing out onto Nick there. 100 pounces Rochelle up ahead in the map, and that's going to be a lot of pounds going out to Spirit, dropping the solid health bonus that much more. And that's going to be a set of pills popped on top of Spirit as well.
Yes, indeed. So, wow, that's a lot of damage for a quick little hit in that area. Those booms there can be a little bit frustrating to deal with. Next set of spawns probably not going to be up until the survivors take this next room. I don't think...
That was a beautiful crown, because he was actually all alone there, and if that witch... Actually, I wonder if he got hit by the witch while he was smoked, if does it clear you from the smoker? I don't think I've ever actually seen that. If you're in the middle of pole, she hits you away, are you still attached to the tongue, or does it clear you from the tongue?
I think it depends, because I've definitely seen like a survivor attached to a tongue being hit.
I wonder if he got hit by the witch while he was smoked, if does it clear you from the smoker? I don't think I've ever actually seen that. If you're in the middle of pole, she hits you away, are you still attached to the tongue, or does it clear you from the tongue?
I think it depends, because I've definitely seen like a survivor attached to a tongue being hit around by a witch and like flying off with the tongue stretching out to nowhere. Ooh, actually nice charge landing right now. But I think it can also break the tongue. I think it depends. I don't know. But it's definitely fun to watch. No matter what happens, if somebody gets hit by the witch and gets knocked around, it's pretty fun to watch, so.
Just seeing people fail witches is really the highlight of this game. That's what we're trying to say here.
Yeah.
Like, people say witches are really weird and buggy, nobody likes them. We all love them, unless you're the person getting hit by it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even if it's my teammate, as long as I get to see him fly into the wall and get to laugh at him a little bit, I'm pretty happy to see Witch Crown go.
Actually, something that people bought up that we haven't seen happen yet is a Witch Death Punch. It's gonna happen sooner or later. When we get to other maps, it's gonna happen.
I've seen them happen in Pugs before, like once, but has not happened in a match yet. We'll have to get to some maps that have a bit more death punchy potential.
Questionable ethics is round 6, by the way, guys.
Really?
But regardless, Charger goes in, gets absolutely destroyed. Nick levitating backwards with the tongue of the smoker. Jockey latching on herself, bringing her forward in the map, getting the incap on her. That was a big help bonus, just wiped off the face of the map. And that's going to put them down to a 28% damage bonus, 0% for pills, and 8 health bonus. So they're at a 138 bonus right now.
Once they get that pickup, the bonus is actually going to shoot back up a little bit. They'll probably be at about 160. Let's see. 171. I was under guessing it. And then Jockey going to go in right there. But,
oh! He made it in!
Last second Charger right there, but they do make the map. 136 bonus after that charge and that Jockey getting those ticks in.
Indeed. So very well played there by Team Noxious. They managed to make the safe room, albeit not with the highest of health bonuses that they would have liked for this map, but it's definitely still respectable. So we'll see the team switch up here. Team Impossibru now on the survivors. Noxious, I should say, now over on the SI. And this is probably my favorite tank for this map. I personally hate the barn tank. I think it is just the most annoying tank to play against, because it's like tables galore. Tanks or survivors can just juke you back and forth over the top of them. But yeah.
Yeah, especially without jump rocks now in Ace mod.
Yeah,
it can be pretty frustrating to play that tank. Like, you need to have either like perfect SI, or you need to have some miracle boom happen or something to really turn it into a wipe. Get that conversion on the tank commit right there. But we'll have to see. This could be interesting to see how Noxious decides to play this tank spawn. Impossibru moving slowly out of safe room, and honestly, it looks like the SI are kind of looking for a later hit. We see Smoker and Boomer sort of pushed up past the tent area, looking around for things. They may decide to go with like sort of a partial hit even, keep some spawns up to prevent the survivors from moving.
quite possibly. And yeah, as we were talking about, maybe we need some props added to that room in the barn. Maybe we need like a giant mustachio freaking doll, or like 20 of them. Just give the assassin spawns.
Yeah, I'd rather see props in the barn than the opening safe room, to be honest. But that's mostly just because nobody ever plays in the opening safe room anyway.
True, because there's never really an early enough tank. I mean, this tank you could take back if you want, I guess.
Yeah, maybe if those props weren't there, one of these teams would consider it, but I don't know, the meta is so strong just to play it at the bumper cars area that I can't see a lot of teams opting for it very often.
I'm waiting for the later on games in the rounds when, well, actually, we won't see DK played again, but I'm so used to seeing teams like juke the tank when he's on top of the roof of the bumper cars. The moment he drops in front of them, they run forward in the map and ends up sending the tank AI. And that's like the worst feeling in the world because nothing you can do. But anyway, Boomer coming up, getting a tri-boom. Charter does completely whiff his charge, but that's going to be a lot of Horde for Discreet's tank here. Once again, Noxious tank in the hands of Discreet. Actually, tank running right in. He's not wasting no time proxying on the survivors. Tank's going to go ahead and wipe Coach up against the bushes there. Gets 2 quick punches onto him, turns his attention to another survivor, but he can't find anyone else.
Ooh, wow, survivors wiggled their way out of that situation. It looked like there was going to be another corner, and that dumpster almost hitting Rochelle right there. Coach still hoarded up like crazy. Nice angle on that punch, but Jockey stealing from the tank. Tank down to 2,000 health. He is hitting the dumpster around, but it looks like it's not getting that much towards a kill. Survivors have now dealt with the Horde, and this tank is struggling to find something to do with his last 1,600 health. Ooh, looks like Survivor's gonna bait that pickup over there. Man, that looks so good for that tank, but they just couldn't capitalize on the separation hard enough. Still going on though. There's still a chance if he can manage to find a tri-cap with his SI. That Smoker getting wrecked though. Jockey taken down as well, and Hunter gonna get downed, but we do have another in-cap from that dumpster. And that is the tank. Well played by Impossibru, mitigating the damage after that devastating multi-boom opener for that tank. But Noxious coming up with more than Impossibru got on this tank. They managed to get 2 full end caps. But wow, I feel like that was such a missed opportunity there, Kiss Me.
Indeed it was. I mean, it was definitely a good turnaround, though, from what they had. But unfortunately, as you mentioned, the tank just wasn't able to get a corner. And it's just one of those things that you notice, the way he positioned himself for the survivor got up, the survivor was able to pretty much angle the tank's punch just by his positioning, and he was able to get punch away from the tank, you know, by the tank's hands, obviously. But that was actually a pretty good hit right there on Mangu, taking a lot of damage there, dropping him down his solid bonus. Yet again, putting them down to a 531 health bonus, was just still respectable. I doubt that we will make it with this health bonus, so we'll probably see them drop down to around a 250 or 300 by the time the end of the map comes. But we'll see, maybe a big hit can happen or whatnot. But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, what's the opposite of possible?
Impossibru?
Impossibru.
Impossibru. I believe that's right, Kiss Me. Alright, well, now that we're banned in at least 3 countries, we'll go to this next hit right now. They have a 2-2 setup, scratching the switch. Impossibru gonna bleed out as they try to figure out how they're gonna take this, trying to get some picks onto SI from around there. I hope that Uzi just accidentally shoots the witch. That's what I want to see happen right now.
Oh, he did.
There, it's going on to someone. I think it might be Nick, though. Here comes in, going for, no, not Rochelle, not Ellis, but the shotguns from the side, Brian, and actually Mosquito getting a double kill, or a work together kill on that witch.
Indeed, and yeah, well, what you wanted happened, because the Uzi in the hands of Mangu actually ended up missing the, I believe it was the spitter that was on top of the witch, and ended up hitting the witch and drawing it. But regardless, just a little shameless plug, guys. If you would like to go ahead and head over to Left 4 Dead Nation, we actually just posted a fantasy top 16 draft for the tournament. Basically, post your top 16 teams who you think will be seed number 1, seed number 2, seed number 3, and if you win and you get the closest to being correct, you win a free $60 team game. So there's my shameless plug for the cast.
Dun dun dun. Get your predictions in. We'll see. Do you have to predict the order of them, like the ranking for top 16?
Yes.
Is that part of it? Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
That could be a real challenge. I'll have to watch some of these casts and figure out which teams are going to be the top 16.
Yeah, you have until week 4, so, or the end of week 4, I should say.
Oh, that's a lot of matches to see. Next week's going to be a pretty interesting one, I bet, too. But next hit coming in, Charger getting a punch. Pound's going to land for just a little bit of damage, and Spitter actually pre-picked right there. So Impossibru actually is still holding a 446 bonus at this point, and are making this final push towards the safe room. I don't know if they'll be able to make it all the way there before the next set of spawns come up, but they're making great time, and we'll at least get to this next open area. Yeah, next SI coming up right now. They're just rushing it though. They don't care. Jockey gonna come in, gonna land onto Nick. He's getting a great separation right there. They weren't able to get the quick clear, but the rest of the SI not quite finding spots yet. There comes the charge, gonna land along with the spit. That's a lot of damage going in onto Mengu right there. That just knocked about 200 points off of their total bonus.
Indeed, they're going to be walking the way in the safe room now, at least, with around a 263, I'm going to say? 264 health bonus. So it was within that range that I predicted. But regardless, they do close that point gap a little bit more, making the scores 2,489 to 2,325. Point differential, they will have to. And yeah, it's interesting because you can kind of tell probably that Impossibru is going to probably be a lot better than they are right now over on the EU server. So it's unfortunate that Nox has been able to keep up with them, but unfortunately it's been, you know, in a best of 2 format. So we'll have to see.
Going to be on Survivor first, but they're going to have to take out this tank and make some good points if they want to have a sizable lead going into their away game.
Okay, here's the plan.
Most certainly they will have to. And yeah, it's interesting because you can kind of tell probably that Impossibru is going to probably be a lot better than they are right now over on the EU server. So it's unfortunate that Nox has been able to keep up with them, but unfortunately it's been, you know, in a best of 2 format. So we'll have to see how it fares on the other server. Who knows? Maybe Team Noxious has been playing more on EU servers than they have on their own home turf servers lately. So maybe they'll be used to it and maybe even play better than expected.
Yeah, definitely so. And I feel like for a lot of the time, I watch Nox on Survivor, and I feel like they're putting in all the right effort. They're playing pretty well, just about as well as anyone could, save for, you know, positioning to not get capped at all or something crazy happening. Their Survivor seems really good, but their Infected, I feel like, isn't able to punish Impossibru enough at these points. So we'll have to see if they can go all out on Survivor here and really find some points to make up before this first match ends. And that Charger is gonna get mowed down right there. Jockey gonna get shut down as well. Spit not really ticking on any of these survivors, so getting out of that with only 11 damage as Brian takes the tank all the way back to look for a forklift.
Indeed, so he's gonna go ahead and play the oh-so-loved forklift strat, which you don't really have any other use for this forklift. You don't really ever see the second tank go for it. So he's going to go ahead and try and implement it here on the first tank. Kind of really iffy hit there, though. It's now up on the stage. It's going to take him another 2 or 3 hits to kind of realign it back to where it has to go. And actually, he's going to go ahead and rock it off the stage, or at least try to. Oh, God, what? It got hung up. It was hanging.
Not look good for Brian. He wasn't even at a great spawn percentage to go for this. And now this forklift's just flying all over the place. He's on second pass. Is he going to go for it? He will totally AI that tank if he goes for it. And I've been in that position too, and I've opted to AI it so many times just because you need the forklift. Not going to bring any tables in. Here comes the commit. We have a tri-cap set up for Team Impossibru tank down to 4,000 health already as he makes the push in right here. Survivor's backing up. Looks like he's going to find the corner onto one of the survivors. Coach taking some punches. 2-cap happening right now though. This jockey finally going to get cleared. SI getting punches. Tank getting punches. Pretty much like mad right now. Discreet managed to pop pills in the middle of that though. No Simi jukes for him. Gonna get in-capped on that safe room. Ooh, and another punch coming out from the tank. And that's going to be all she wrote. Wow, Tank actually managing to find a lot of damage in the middle of that chaos, bouncing around from survivor to survivor. But yet, Noxious gets out of it with only 1 in-cap on the board and the rest of the survivors not needing to pop pills.
Indeed, and they're actually going to drop that in damage by a Charger. Misses completely on the Coach. Spitter throwing down the delay spit, trying to keep Leon inside of the doorway down below. Coach grabs the Crown of the Witch, and that will be everything and the kitchen sink dealt with. And yeah, they will go ahead and start the lights here and make their way back down to the stage where they have to hit the button once more, and then the event will start here.
Deedly weedly. So this is a pretty
kitchen sink dealt with, and yeah, they will go ahead and start the lights here and make their way back down to the stage where they have to hit the button once more, and then the event will start here.
Deedly Weedly. So this is a pretty solid health bonus to have on this finale. If the survivors, I feel like in a lot of matches we've seen so far, the survivors don't do a great job of holding onto their health bonus during this event. So we'll have to see how Noxious handles it. It looks like they're kind of out of position as this first hit is coming in. Smoker going in early though, getting cleared off. This Hunter bouncing around like crazy. Charger, wow, nice jukes by Spirit, avoiding that. However, that Hunter all the way on the top of the map, getting some great damage as this Charger manages to find a couple punches as well. So not exactly what you want to see from Team Noxious right off the bat there. Maybe they'll get into some better positions for this next hit, but that one, even though it's so staggered, actually managed to get a pretty nice amount of damage. And Prince not going to take his pills. He's going to just sit there and hold on for dear life. Try to prevent that bleed from occurring.
Most certainly they will. And yeah, so we'll have one set of pills popped on the screen here. He can go ahead and grab another one from the set of pills there soon enough. Spit goes out, not going to find anything. Smoker's don't get cleared immediately. Actually, Smoker pulls Ellis. I believe he went through the very edge of that spit there, so he's going to be actually knocked down into yellow. Prince also down to the red now. And they could do with a couple more sets of pills being popped and then going and grabbing a couple more from the stage here. But it looks like we're going to be at the halfway point to the next tank. This is a little bit of a pause, but if you will, between the two things. Or is this the tank? There's no way this is the
there
tank
should
already.
be. There should be, yeah, 2 more sets of Horde. That was a pretty nicely taken out hit until that Smoker tongue landed onto Spirit, and they managed to pop the Boomer, which can help move the event along a little bit quicker, not having that extra comet flying in. Next hit coming in. Honor not going to get skeeted despite going straight at the survivors. Jockey does get taken down though. Prince taking a little bit more spit damage on that one, but overall, I mean, they're avoiding taking these pills. They've got, you know, a nice reserve. They've got a couple pills left on stage. Leon's still in pretty high health. They might actually be able to take out this tank.
Indeed, it's a great possibility right now. They have, once again, as you mentioned, a good amount of health to actually do it with. They're going to have to definitely play LOS here with the tank, though. They're going to have to definitely just cut his sight, make him commit, because if they do decide to pop these sets of pills, they're going to have 3 people bleeding out. Leon's also on the brink of it, taken down here actually very quickly right now. Almost on the brink of yellow, which would mean he would need a set of pills as well to stay fast. But this Smoker is actually going to get hunted right now by Coach, getting self-cleared there with the M2, and that'll be the Smoker dealt with by Discreet. And yeah, Leon on the brink. He's at 41 HP right now, and looks like they are thinking about taking these pills now.
So they are. I think if they finish this last little bit of Horde, that tank is going to spawn though. We'll have to see. SI getting ready for a next hit. Boomer really trying to find his spawn over there, but not going to find anything quite yet. Here comes Hunter. Charger looking for a spawn. Boomer actually managed to find it onto Leon, but he does get popped. Nice shove back and pop right there. Pound's going to land for a brief second, and Charger melted as well.
Indeed, melted like a popsicle on a hot sunny day.
I do like the positioning overall from Nox there. It looks like they found a pretty stable configuration. And now tank up in the hand of Meng. Survivors pushing for those last few pills. And they're actually managing to keep Leon fast at 40 HP exactly. Spirit not even going to pop his pills yet. They're just going to start going for that LOS, but a nice boom coming around the side. Smoker moving up. He's going to catch Spirit if he's not careful. They do get that nice coin.
Yeah, but Nox are playing it very smartly. Or very smart, I should say. They are just playing some hard LOS right now. They're keeping the tank from, maintaining that LOS once again. Boomer does go in on 2 survivors, though, at the top. Both
For full rock at this point.
Yeah, but Nox are playing it very smartly. Or very smart, I should say. They are just playing some hard LOS right now. They're keeping the tank from, maintaining that LOS once again. Boomer does go in on 2 survivors, though, at the top. Both Rochelle and Coach eating that boom. And they're going to have to fight off this Horde now. Tank is rotating around now towards the top of the stage. And this is pretty much going to force the SI, or not the SI, but the survivors either push down onto the stage below the tank, or they're going to have to go ahead and LS behind one of the tents up top. And in fact, they're going to opt for the first of those options and push onto the stage, it seems.
Yeah, ooh, nice teleport by Prince right there. Tank going for another rock, but I think if the survivors can kill off this Horde, this stage is a pretty safe place to sit. They can actually chip the tank through that rooftop, which can be pretty advantageous. This tank is still at 6k though, and it looks like he's going to go straight in, catching himself on fire briefly. Survivors getting run around. There's a nice 2-boom going out and charge landing on the side. That charger's not going to get cleared very quickly, and a double punch happening on top of it. Meanwhile, Jockey lands onto Spirit, who's the only survivor with any real movement speed, and that is the wipe. Well
Indeed
played by
is.
Team Impossibru.
Impossibru. But yeah, so he's gonna finish off that tank with a 4k HP, health bar right now. So really well played by that tank. Heads off to Mengu, and now we're gonna see what they can do over on the survivor half here. They can either claw it back a little bit or just blow the lead out, or they could obviously fall back behind a little bit because we saw Team Noxious make it to the second tank.
Yeah, definitely so. That tank, I mean, survivors were in a pretty good spot, but that tank managed to take next to no chip before the commit happened whatsoever. But yeah, we'll have to see if Noxious can make an early tank wipe happen here. Otherwise, that gap in the scores after their home match is going to start trickling down pretty hard.
We start their finale. That chopper is gonna know.
We'll have to see. 3-1 hit set up right here. Tank is going to be spawned already. SI going in quickly. Not sure which one became the tank right there, but none of them disappearing at this point. Nice amount of damage off of that opening hit.
Well, certainly it was, actually. Mengu and both Sterling are dropping down to the 70 HP range. So that was quite devastating, actually.
Look at this tank going for the forklift. Looks like he's going to change his mind as these survivors start to push forward. A little bit interesting positioning here from both teams. Survivors just playing that doorway right now. And he looks like he is going to push. He has separation right here. Can Jockey get Nick? This separation's not going to last for long. Getting that corner onto Coach. Nice Jockey in the back. Charger looking for the intercept. Manages to find it. This is
That's it.
Wow. Once again, a sort of pushy play on that early tank from a European team, and managing to get the tri-cap with the tank commit right there. Well played by Prince, well played by Noxious overall with that well-executed tri-cap. And that's going to give them a lead. It's 31-17, 3,117 points in favor of Team Noxious to 2,431 for Team Impossibru. So that is a nice, almost 700-point lead for Team Noxious coming out of their home game. It was really close for a lot of those maps, Kiss Me, but they managed to get a bit of a buffer by the end of it.
Indeed, and for those of you wondering, there is going to be a second game. I believe it is following up right now, in fact. So there shouldn't be too much of a delay here, but we'll see what ends up happening. And yeah, that was just like an incredible way to end that. That was an amazing tri-cap with the tank.
Yeah, definitely so. Really enjoyable to see the home team, for I guess us Americans over here, managing to come out with a nice wipe like that at the end and keep a solid lead going out of their home match. So yeah, we'll be back in a bit, guys. Gonna bring you that second match as soon as teams are ready.
Indeed, stay tuned.
I'm gonna take a piss. Damn. Wait, you're still streaming?
Yes.
God damn it.
Oh, we'll be right back in a minute, guys.